you rather have the tag or the bag?
Because
it's like...
Okay, that's funny because actually somebody commented on my stuff earlier. It was like, yeah, I wish content creators would like tag the team. That I was like, what? Why? You're getting paid. So for newer content creators, they actually appreciate the shout out more than the bag.
Right.
Because they're trying to get that exposure, right? They understand that, okay, I'm getting the bag, but that, once again, that could just be a talk. Hey, I don't mind saying you created this, that whole 9, but I'm gonna lower the price then.
We're gonna run the play. Let's go. Do you know what it's like to come from nothing at all, but every day you just wanting it all? Do you know what it's like? Every day facing your fear, but believing that your blessing is near. Do you know what it's like? Growing up broken than most, but still being devoted the most. Do you know what it's like? Yeah, that's what the journey's about. Yeah. Let me show you how.
All right, y'all, we back. This is Justin Owens, your host with the Run the Play show, where I help break down the top plays of success from top leaders, entrepreneurs, personalities by sharing the gems from their personal playbook. And I'm excited today. The guest that we got today, she is the voice of content branding specialist. She's a strategist when it comes to building brands, and she's responsible for some of your favorite public figures, globally recognized business and brand builder. I got my girl here, Nicky. How you doing, girl?
What's poppin'?
Thank you for having. Thank you for being here.
No, thank you.
Thank you for being in the studio.
No, this is amazing.
Thank you.
I don't know if people really know the backstory, but this is amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Yeah, no, I appreciate you coming in because really, believe it or not, I've learned a lot from you. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you helped break down. You know, you broke my whole business down last year. You actually do it a lot. And I probably listened to 50% of it, so I'm doing a better job. I did. I said, okay, I got to talk to her about this. You know,
I was like, there's a few things I was like, you're going to come back. It's all good. It's
and I already knew it, but I'm like, let me apply.
Yeah.
Because I'd rather let somebody see I've applied something, and then I come back and say, okay, help me get a little better. So,
right.
Yeah, so I appreciate you coming in.
No,
so,
of course.
I know one of the questions I need to know is, who's the shoe plug? Let's just start. Can we start there? Because the collection is ridiculous. Like,
so it's amazing to have a size 5.5.
Yeah.
There's no shoe plug. It's a 5.5. I promise. Like, so back in the day, I definitely like had a few like plugs in the stores or whatever. But now it's gotten to the point like I have so many that if I get it, I get it. If I don't, like I'll open the sneaker app. Boop. Oh, I won. Okay.
Oh my god. Boop, boop. I hit maybe like on the big drops.
Yes.
One in probably 50.
So, have a small shoe size. I don't know what to tell you. I really don't.
I wear 13, so I'm like.
Yeah, no, there's no way. There's no way.
Yeah, I just feel like I don't know if they just don't make it or I don't know.
No, they make it. It's just there's a lot of people who want the sneakers. Mm-hmm. Like if I was a 7, because 7 is that's a size where. Like the men still try to get the cheaper side, the cheaper prices and everything like that. So the 7s go away. Yeah. But everything else before then is a little bit easier. So that is the only reason. Yeah. So there's no plug.
Okay. Well.
But if anybody, we could talk about it though. We could talk about it. I have no problem.
There we go. All right. So any of these shoe plugs out there, let's she said 5.5. 5.5 is what is that in like?
5.5 in boys.
5.5 in boys. Yeah. Didn't that convert over to
like it's like a 7 like a 7.5 or something.
Okay, like cool. Yeah. So I just want to make sure they got both.
Listen.
Both sides. All right. Good. All right. So question: when did you start falling in love with storytelling? Because you're like, in my opinion, a master at it. Yeah.
So I would really have to say when I was like 3 years old, and let me explain why. And shout out to my mom because she only put me in front of like VH1 and MTV and everything like that. So remember when like music videos were like, it actually went with the words? Yeah. Right. So I used to love that. All I used to do was watch music videos. And then they went into this like movie, it doesn't make sense with the words, it gets too deep. And I was like, okay, that makes no sense. So my whole thing was always, okay, how do I make the words go with what we see? Right. But it didn't really, I didn't really execute on it until I got out of the Navy. Okay. So, I did the Navy for 9 years, and then I had, a bank job afterwards, right, as an IT. Mm-hmm. And then I just started playing with like just Final Cut and things like that, just trying to put things together.
Yeah.
And that's when I started really like, oh, this is not that hard, right? Yeah. So I would do it like with music videos. I would do it with like, at the time with E's voice, Inky's voice. And so I just really started loving doing that. And then it just grew to like, yo, you wanna do this for me? You're actually pretty good at this. Like, you wanna do that? I said, sure. And then it just grew into that. That was just like a stepping stone. But the storytelling, I see like stories in everything. Because it's not hard for me to think of an idea for some reason when it comes to content. Because I always look at it like, okay, if you have your shirt on, right? Yep. So where if we're saying, yo, let's promote the shirt, you just go like this, they see Run the Play, whatever, then it transitions into somebody else wearing it, somebody else. And so I think of it like that, like how can we make it dynamic? How can we make it to where people are interested in it, just like how we're interested in trailers, how we're interested in sitcoms, how we're interested in movies. That's just how my brain works. So
wow. Do you feel like anybody can build a brand?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because I was wondering, is it one of those things where it's like an it factor a person has to have, or is it like, I've always been curious.
So I think doing it yourself, it needs to be a little bit of an it factor. Mm-hmm. People believing in you and you being the talent, anybody could be a brand.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. So like you may not see it, but other people will see it. So they'll, set certain things up. They'll give you the logo, they'll give you the website, they'll tell you what to do as far as content, boom, boom, because you may be doing things naturally and you don't even see that it's a brand. Yeah. Some people just automatically go, hold on, let me get this phone real quick. I'll figure the rest out later, right? So I think there are people that can just naturally go into it, but I think the other people, they don't necessarily see it. Not that they're not the brand, they just don't necessarily see it, and they have to have certain people around them for it to be bigger.
Got it. Okay. I gotta go back to your story though. So you start off in the Navy.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Navy.
Yep.
You said, was it banking?
Yep.
Content creation.
Yes.
Okay. So did you feel like, all right, when I'm in the Navy, like, all right, when I get out, I want to get into content creation? Or like, okay. All right. So what's the transition?
No. So I didn't know. I was one of those kids that didn't know what they wanted to be when they grew up.
So you don't have to know, guys. I just throw this out.
No, absolutely not. Yeah. I didn't know. I actually, when you go into the Navy, you have to pick a job. I was the one that didn't pick a job. Like, it's things that's called undesignated. Yep. And so where they put you in, like, this division where you do the painting, you bring up the rope, you do all these little maintenance things while you serve all these other departments so you can see what you want. Right? Mm-hmm. So that's when I logically think, okay, because military in real life is a little bit different, right? What you could really excel in the Navy doesn't translate in real life, right? Okay, so some of the jobs. The only job that made sense to me that translated that I was like, okay, we can make a good amount of money is IT.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? So that was the only reason why I picked IT. And then when I was happy in the Navy doing IT, but then when I got out and it wasn't the same kind of environment and now I'm in a closed spot in the office all the time, I'm like, this don't feel the same, right? So that's when I started kind of like seeking out what kind of makes me happy, because the money was good, but I wasn't necessarily happy. So I just started creating certain things, being in the right communities, and it just happened to be like, hey, you want to try this? It really fell into my lap. I swear. It wasn't even done intentionally of like, okay, I'm going to be a content creator and I'm going to try this all the time. It was, here, I've done a few. You like them? I'm going to stay active in the community. They're like, nah, come here. Like, we got you. Like, don't worry about it. And throughout the years, then I realized it's not necessarily about the content creation. It is actually about making something into a global brand. Yeah. Getting like a thought and creating some visuals that is now going to impact not only somebody local, but somebody in Australia and Nigeria and things like that off of a universal language. So it got bigger than just, hey, I'm creating some stuff on my laptop and on my phone. Because I was the one, and shout out to Jose, like I was the one that didn't even like these cameras, right?
Wow, yeah.
I did everything on my phone. Every single thing, like the early years when I was running with E, everything as far as content was done on my phone.
Wow.
I felt comfortable with it.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm resorting back to my phone. It's like they gave me a camera. I hated it. I still have it, but I hated it. And now I'm still going back to the phone because I'm realizing the way the world works right now is that we connect with you as real and authentic as you are.
Mm-hmm.
So when we have overproduced content sometimes on a regular, we disconnect with our audience.
Got it.
So now I'm like, all right, we're going back to the phone.
Mm.
So there's a equal amount of it, but yeah, I'm going back to it.
Can you talk about that process, because there are a lot of people that would love to be the Nicky of somebody.
Right.
Like, so obviously you work with ET and Inky. Can you talk about that process, like the work process? Because it's like, okay, hey, I'm creating content. You guys like me. Cut me the check. Like, what was that?
No, so I didn't get a check for about like 3 years.
What? Say that? 3 years?
3 years.
And you were making content all the time?
All the time. I would go to all the events on my dime. I would stay up late at night and create and run the social media and things like that. Yes.
Not just, no, because, listen, the reason, no, because I'm just saying this because there are some people that they're actually under talented.
Yes.
And I don't even know if that's a word, but they're under talented.
Yeah.
And they're just like, yo, I want to get this. I'm like, yeah, I don't know, bro, because I don't know if it's worth that. And I'm not saying that you're not supposed to do that for 3 years, but I'm just listening. I didn't think it was 3 years.
No, it was 3 years. It was absolutely 3 years. Absolutely.
So, because sometimes when people say, "Oh, I want to do this," like, I be trying to figure out, like, do you really want to do that,
right,
or do you just want to get where she's at today?
Yeah, but for me, it was never. This is why I know that I love what I do, because it was never about the money, right? It just never really was about the money. It was really just the freedom of creativity, the freedom of seeing how one thing then impacted the world, the freedom of seeing that you could really translate somebody's thoughts and create something bigger. That's always been the thing for me. Then it translated to, oh, now I'm teaching it, right? So if I could do the service part of like doing it for 3 years for free, I'm not going to struggle on the social media end, because social media is a whole long game. You have to give value over and over and over. And I'm like, this is easy for me, right? But in the time of doing it for free, I look at it as on-the-job training. I come from the cloth of I can't charge you a guap, and I'm still learning. Yeah. Like, and I'm, depending on the circle that you're in, you're always going to hear like, yo, you have to charge this amount, you have to charge this amount. Yeah. Here's the industry rate and this, that, and a third. But I just came from a whole background of serving the country. Yeah. It doesn't translate to me. So serving for me is not hard. Serving for me, and I'm realizing with that mentality, then the money comes like it didn't come at that moment, but what happened later is like, oh, it all makes sense now. Yeah. It's, you just have to, I didn't put a time limit, because some people would be like, all right, I'm gonna create these, I'll do 10 clips for your podcast. Right. We'll do it for a month and then let's revisit it. Yeah. Let's be realistic. You can't really get too much data of if this really works or not, because now the audience is trying to figure out, what is this new content? Yeah. Okay, cool. I like it. You have to see if you like the style. Numbers still not playing out. Now I have to talk to you about compensation when this was, I can't, for me, I can't do it. Yeah.
And that's a, it's one of those things where you're trying to figure out, especially as a new entrepreneur, like, okay, I have to eat. Yeah. I've got to make some money. Right. But, okay, who do I serve? Who do I charge? Have you ever ran into that dynamic of like, okay, I'm serving here, yes, but I have to charge you. Like, how did you decide?
It's more of what I want to do and what is on your time. So meaning, I can serve the people I want to serve. I can go all in on social media all I want to. But when you tell me, hey, can you check my page out? And it's off of my time, then then I gotta charge you.
Oh, that's me. I do that. All right, it makes sense. I was trying to figure out.
No. It's like I have no problem.
Yeah.
Like if like I said, if it's on my time, hey, yo, look, check this out, boom, 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 and I've done that with it.
Yeah,
Check this out, and because I genuinely love doing this,
You've
right?
done both actually, because you even helped me with the Circle of CEOs conference.
Yep.
Like, yo, just send me the video. I'll give you the clips.
Yep.
Like, oh, that's love. Thank you.
So it's more of when I see something, I just want to do it. I don't even think about money. I don't go. Why? Because it's just something that I know will come back to me twofold. I know I could hit you with like, yo, boom, I got my podcast. Yo, come on, no problem, right? So
Say less.
I know certain things like that, but when other people who know that I'm associated with the people who I'm associated with, like, hey, and shout out to those people who think they get the discount because they know the people, and it's like, yeah, that's cute. But no, this is on my time. I gotta charge you. And 9 out of 10 times people respect that.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's never, for those people who struggle with that, you go, what do I love to do and want to serve and have no problem doing it? But when somebody, like I charge for audio notes on Instagram.
Yeah.
Like, hey, can you check this out? No doubt. Here, boom, boom, boom. I'm going to send you a whole bunch of audio notes. They're like, no problem. Thank you. Oh my God, I love it. Like, my time is always going to be my time. But when I'm on your time, it's a charge.
Yeah, I like that. Hey, I hear that, right? But it's on your time. I think it's a thing that has to be discussed, you know, because I run into it so much. And fortunately, like a lot of people I work with, I've been able to keep them. But I also have friends that struggle with people, and it's like, yo, people come in with these unrealistic expectations, and then truthfully, some of them don't even want to work for real. They like you'd be like, bro, it's been 3 weeks now. Where's the okay? As a content brand creator. How, like, because your turnaround seems to be amazing.
Disgusting, yeah. It's very disgusting.
I mean, I be walking out and she already got the video of me walking out the door.
It's very unrealistic for people.
Yeah. So, but timing is really important with so if anybody wants to be in that space, are there any things that they can do to speed it up?
So there is the right now, and then there's the recap, how I look at things, right? So when we are doing kind of like day-to-day action, that needs to be shown in real time. If there is an event, we shouldn't just wait for the recap. Like there should be little clips, because I'm thinking also of the experience of the audience.
Yeah.
Right? So we have to make them interested.
Yeah.
And so that's little clips. That doesn't always have to be, okay, I'm running around with a DSLR camera all the time, and then when I get home, I'll unload, and then I'll go. No. You should always have in your mind, that was a fire bar. That was a fire thing they did. I can cut up 3 of these things, put it out there, at least in stories, or I can do a quick reel, and that's it, right? It doesn't have to be super extravagant. And the problem with content creators, they always think, oh, I have to put the music, I have to do this, I have to do that. And it actually takes time. Now, it's great. Don't get it twisted. There's some that are amazing, but then the energy is already gone from that moment.
Yeah.
Right? And so, like, when I see vlogs that are, like, 4 weeks old, I'm like, why am I watching? That was back then. I didn't even know you were documenting like this. Like, what are we talking about? Yeah. Like, you could have taken a small clip from it, put it up, say the vlog's coming out soon, right? So we can prepare that there's going to be more, right? It's always just little teasers. So when we're thinking just about like a whole day, like if somebody was following you, right? Let's say from 9 a.m. to about like 5 p.m., right? Boom, you getting in your car. Boom. Then you go to your first meeting. Da-da-da. Like from 9 to 12, there should already be something out.
Got it.
There should be something out, because it's like if there is 3 locations, boom, 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 put it together, do a little voiceover, more to come. That's it. It's just simple storytelling.
Got it. I love that. What do you feel like people are struggling with when it comes to content creation? When you talk to most people, what's something that was like, oh, this is why it's hard for me?
Overthinking.
Yeah.
It's overthinking. It's I'm looking at everybody else, and I feel as if my creativity is not good enough.
Yeah.
Right? And I always compare it to, like, I really think content is art. The reason why is I don't know how many people remember that Art Basel where like there was a banana that was stuck on tape on a wall and sold for thousands. But people found that as art, right? There's somebody that's always going to like your content. Your content's not for you. So you literally could type a word saying, or the phrase, run the play, post it. Nothing crazy. You could do it in your note app, type it, screenshot it, put it up. There's somebody that's going to like it. There's somebody that may needed that reminder. But we think, oh my God, I have to have like a whole transition. I have to have it in a certain kind of font. I have to have it in a certain kind of color. The caption has to be fire. And we're overthinking content creation that it actually paralyzes us. So now we're not putting out anything and we're not even being consistent when it's about, okay, if I wake you up at 3:47 in the morning out of video, audio, written, and photo, what can you create? I like cold in your eye, everything. I'm like, yo, I got an audience.
Probably note typing.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's the thing that you could do every single day. If you could do that at 3:47 in the morning, just like, right? Yeah. That's the most natural to you. That's the thing that you could probably create every single day without thinking about it, right? But what stops us is the thinking.
I'm about to put this hey, because that, you know, I got a whole notepad of just ideas. I just always take it down. So
it could be a series. Yeah. That's the thing. It could be a true series that comes out at a certain time every single day, and people start looking forward to it. Yeah. I mean, we've seen tweets that go into Instagram that go viral.
Yeah, facts. I'm learning some stuff. All right. Hey, this is good, guys. I'm telling you. This is okay. When did social media start making sense to you?
Day one.
Day one, okay.
Yeah, day one, because I just saw it as a tool. I didn't see it as anything else. It's a tool to get, for you to act as yourself and for you to be global. It's the only place, especially for introverts, that I don't have to go to events. I don't have to go to all these different states, countries, and everything to meet people, right? I could literally boop, 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 post, and that's it. And I'm seeing how people are blowing up just by being themselves. Whether it is the ratchet kind of side, whether it is the super professional kind of side, whether you're streaming on video games, it didn't matter. People were acting as themselves, posting it, and not thinking anything about it. Yeah. And I was like, this is just a tool, because what we used to do, we have to ask permission to be on the radio. We have to ask permission to be on TV. We had to be permission to write, be on newspapers and things like that. There's no permission anymore. Yeah. We just do that, and we are not aware of the power of media and how we actually have our own networks once we figure that out. So social media was easy for me for day one. I took it more from a consuming standpoint. Yeah. I was stuck. I was like, oh, this is great. But then I realized, I was like, oh, this is actually something that can help, where I don't necessarily have to shake hands and kiss babies every single day like it was before. Right.
I like it. I like that. Can you give some advice to two people? Like, almost thinking, because as you were talking before, I'm thinking of like, okay, how can we help entrepreneurs that if I'm hiring a content creator, and then if I'm the content creator, because there's some people that I know, they call me to be like, Justin, man, I really can't even do what I said I can do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just cannot. Like,
I just wanted to work with you.
This person, they wanted me to travel. They wanted me to do this. Okay, I can't. I shouldn't have. Like, how do you?
I can't sign up for this.
I guess let's start with one side. Okay, if I'm an influence entrepreneur and I'm hiring content creators, can you give us some tips on things they should look for, things they should be talking to people about, setting expectations early, and then we'll talk from the other side.
So first thing, I would actually say, work on your communication. Yeah. Right? And the reason why I say that, and it's not even looking at other people first, you got to look inside yourself, because you are the only one that knows the vision of your brand. Right? So if you can't really articulate what that is and how it's supposed to feel and how it's supposed to look, right? You're always going to have problems with content creators. Got it. Right? So what entrepreneurs tend to do is like, oh, I like that style. I seen what you did with Oh Boy. Boom. Do that for me. Yeah. Right? Do that right there. Do that for me. I like that, right? and they're like, okay, give me the brand message, give me the tone, give me, tell me what it is, right? Because no one really is like, do that. I trust your creativity. And when it comes back, it's like, okay, that was good. However, you just told me to do me. Like, and this is where content creators struggle, because it's like, when you think of like painters, you paid what I created.
Yeah.
That's what you pay for. That's it. The custom piece is a whole guap of money.
Yeah.
This is what I did. You can pay for that, right? So it's almost the same thing with content creators. If you want me to do what I do, I don't need no feedback then. But because content creators are a part of service, they have to like do several, edits and things like that. So for the entrepreneur who is trying to get the content creator, work on your communication. Find someone that is a style that you like, but that you still can communicate what's going to make me different.
Yeah.
Right? Because you don't exactly want that same style.
Yeah, no.
Right? Like, shout out to Gary Vee. Everybody was doing the Gary Vee style at a certain point. You don't want that style. You still want a certain kind of look, a certain kind of vibe. So find the inspirations. There's certain pieces that you probably like. Put that in a folder. Give that to the content creator. Like, here are several examples, and here's something that's outside of the box, right? How do we mix that up and create content for me? And then let's be realistic with the turnaround time.
Yeah.
Right? If you could communicate what the turnaround time is, and then understand in the beginning, it's a new thing. So they may say, bet I got you in like 48 hours. Give them an extra day.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to see how they can like fit with you.
Yeah.
Right? Now for those people who are like, I need the one that travels with me and everything like that. Yep. I get it. I understand. They're still human.
Yeah.
Right? So you still have to like treat them as that.
Yeah.
So even though they're supposed to like literally catch the different angles, catch everything that's going on, mic you up, that whole nine, like understand that this is just like another buddy.
Yeah.
Like treat them as that, because the more involved that they feel, the more that they will capture of you without you asking.
I like it. Yeah. How do you what's a sign to like, yo, don't record? You know what I'm saying? Stop recording.
That's a communication thing. You know how like with certain bodyguards, like you go like this, they know to like, all right, we gotta go. Yeah. You gotta. That's the communication thing. Yeah. That's the like, like yep. So that's the communication. Figure out that safe word or whatever. That signal, because people, we would just record all the time.
Especially when you tell them, hey, don't put the camera down.
Right. Yeah. Like if you're saying capture everything, they're going to capture everything. Now you could either do one, have that signal, or two, remember it in your head or text it, like as it's happening, text it. This is the stuff that we can't put out. Yeah. We can record it, but let's just not put this out.
Got it. Should people have like disclosures and stuff for the content creators, you feel?
I mean, there's always got to be some type of paperwork. You got to, there's always got to be some type of legal situation going on. Just protection for you as the talent, right? And then for them as the creator. So it's kind of a mutual situation. And then, of course, that conversation, even on paper, where it is, can I put out your content? Yeah. Because sometimes some people don't want their stuff out anywhere else. Correct. Right? And so that has to be like communicated as well as written down. Like, once I post it, you could post it. Yeah. But don't post it before me. Yeah. Right? I know you're excited.
They be doing stuff behind the scenes before time. People getting upset like, bro.
Right. Now, what I will say is stories is okay because it goes 24 hours, right? But that's still something you have to communicate with, like some more behind the scenes.
Yeah, because what you call, was it Lil Wayne's chef got fired for doing
Yes. That? Yeah. Because she was just like, but she was blowing up on social media and all you see is Wayne's background and everything like that. You don't see Wayne, but it's like, okay, hold on. They'll know that you're connected. You're actually showing inside of my house. That's a little bit too much. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's really, it's truly about communication with content creators. We just want to be talked to.
Yeah.
Talk to me nice.
Yeah, no, I agree. All right, so because we on this topic, and then we'll answer the other side.
Go ahead.
Because me and my friends sometimes we talk about, like, for people, what the conversation is, would you rather have the tag or the bag? Because it's like,
Okay, that's funny because actually somebody commented on my stuff earlier. It was like, yeah, I wish content creators would like tag the team. That I was like, what? Why? You're getting paid. So for newer content creators, they actually appreciate the shout out more than the bag.
right.
Because they're trying to get that exposure, right? They understand that, okay, I'm getting the bag, but that once again, that could just be a talk. Hey, I don't mind saying you created this, that whole 9, but I'm gonna lower the price then.
Yeah.
Because actually you're paying for the reach now. And that's an honest conversation,
Yeah.
right?
You know who I learned that from too was Kevin Hart. I don't know if you remember. This was like years ago. He had a movie that came out, and they were mad that he didn't post it on his social media, and he was like, "Oh, that's a different price. Y'all pay me, you pay me to act.
Right.
In the contract, it's not for me to post this movie." And they thought in their mind it was like, "Well, if he's acting, he's going to post it." He was like, "No, if you want me to post it, that's another thing because that's something that I built."
Absolutely.
And so I think it goes to kind of what you were saying is like people have to decide like which one is more important, because if not, there is value for this, because I have seen where there's some people that they tag people all the time, and then if a person's already behind on work and you trying to get more clients, it's like,
yeah,
you can't even handle what you got. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it is a conversation that needs.
Yeah,
to
it's
be
a
had.
conversation. Now, like, of course, with those super big projects, it doesn't hurt to be like edited by this, that, and the third. Like, I believe like any kind of documentary or real big recaps in it.
Yeah.
But if it's like daily situations, oh no, that's a conversation.
Yeah.
That's because at the end of the day, majority of people who are posting the content wants to seem, even though it may not be true, as if they have a content machine. And so they're like, either they're the ones creating it or they have a team that's creating it. That's why like there is no need to get to the tech, or I'm just getting my content out and we keeping it moving.
Yeah.
Right? Perception is still everything. So if that is the content creator, like, yo, I just want the shout out, no doubt. Here's my following. Let's talk about a price that is reasonable where I have no problem shouting you out. Now, if they're on the team, like a W-2 kind of vibes, how do we build together? Absolutely, right?
Yep.
But if you are a contractor, sir, ma'am,
Man,
sir, let's talk about this. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'll do it once in a while, but that's about it,
yeah.
and that's fine.
Yeah, and I think that's the conversation. Cause I've known some people that I got really upset about. I'm like, but you got paid, you know, like.
But then you have to look at it from a standpoint of, are they promoting their own stuff? Because the conversation that I had in my comments was, yeah, I could tag people all day. They're not consistent on their page, so I'm bringing traffic to them, and they wouldn't even know what to do with it. So are they being active about their services? Are they being active about creating their digital resume that when the traffic does go, they could clearly see, oh, she or he worked with so and so. This is their body of work. But a lot of content creators are so concentrated on the service part and working for others that they forget about themselves. So the shout out is actually worthless.
So get to making some content for yourself. Is that what you're saying?
This is a real conversation, because how are you supposed to get more clients if literally the Instagram, Facebook, YouTube is your whole digital resume, right? We're looking at what else do you create?
Yeah.
What else do you do? So you have to be your own brand in order to grow.
Yeah.
Like you can hide and it's crazy because I really just posted about this. Like you can hide behind the people that you work with all the time, but we actually need to see your work. We actually need to be like amazed. As much as we're amazed of the talent, you are the true reason why the talent looks so good. So that actually needs to be shown. That actually needs to be broken down. You don't have to show the final product, but you could show the behind the scenes of it. And content creators get too caught up because they feel like they always have to do the final product stuff for their own pages. And it's not the same. So they have to choose, what am I going to put my energy to? The one that's going to pay me, or the one that's going to give me, you know, more exposure and like my own stuff? That could wait.
Yeah.
I'm going for the bag.
Yeah.
And it actually hurts them in the long run.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, because there are some people that I know, the people like, yo, I've got calls. Hey, if this person called you, do not work with them. This is what they did. Blah blah blah. Oh snap! All right, well, you gotta worry about me. You know what I'm saying? All right,
Yeah, worry about me.
So all right, so now we talked about for the entrepreneur, the influencer, hire somebody. What are some things for the person that's like, okay, I'm trying to get a client, I'm trying to do this. Any tips you would give to them?
So pay attention to who you're trying to work with. Like, as content creators, we always have kind of like a wish list, right? But what I really want other people to do is that put everybody on a wish list. And what I mean by that is the same energy that you do as researching what are they doing, how often do they post, what are their content creation situation. The same type of research that you do with your dream client, do that with everybody.
Got it.
Because now it's practice. Because when you do get that dream client, it's nothing, right? But also, the better you treat the client that isn't your dream one, is get you closer to your dream one. Because then now all the referrals happen.
Right.
Right? So, old girl knew that I only posted this amount. They see the strategy. They asked about my goal. This is a main thing. Content in itself is worthless. Strategy is where the money is.
Right.
Okay?
All right, she's talking big now.
No, because this is a problem with content creators, because they're like, I spend hours creating this and they only want to pay me this much. Because it's not content is every single day. It's not hard to make content. It's hard to understand what to do with the content. So when you're researching the brand, right, and the people that you want to work with, can you come up with a strategy that, okay, I'm going to create this for you, and this could be repurposed on this platform. You're going to want to use this for ads. You're going to want to do this, that, and the third. And this is where you become more valuable. You're not just a content creator. You're not just the person that's roaming around. Okay, we're going to do the day in the life here. We're going to now make that into a series. We could possibly put that on YouTube, which is then we can monetize it. The more that we advertise on things, we could then monetize it, unlock these particular things, go back on Instagram, do the bonus reels. Then whatever hit the best, then we can use those for ads, for brand awareness. That's so when you actually are ready to sell your product and your service, now you already have the audience because you've grew that brand awareness campaign. You're good, right? But we get so stuck in I want to create.
Yeah.
I want to just do this, where it's not about that from a longevity standpoint.
Yeah.
It is about can you take the brand with the content that you're creating to a whole new level.
Got it. So this is, I'm over here, my head is just spinning because that was a lot of information. So all right, if I'm a content creator helping people build brands, where do I even learn that? Because that sounds like, I guess what I'm thinking about is everybody DMs people like, hey, I can make a whole bunch of videos for this amount. And what it sounds like you're saying is, well, that's the easy part. That's the cheap part.
Yeah, it's very.
What people want is this whole other thing.
Especially with AI coming in.
Yeah.
It's about to be very cheap for them.
Yeah.
It's like there's a software now that you put in a video and it does the cuts for you.
What?
Yeah. It's called Chopcast.
Chopcast.
Yeah, Chopcast, like you put the video in, it creates about like 10 to 16 clips for you, and you can kind of like just trim it to exactly the parts that you want it. And the subtitles, it does it for you. That whole 9, it crops it exactly from a vertical or if you want horizontal. So that's why I'm like, it's really not about the content, especially going now into the years of where AI is going to start taking over.
Yeah. So where do I learn?
So, I mean, there's a few places. Like, one, you got to look at some of the top content agencies. Like, you got to see what they're kind of doing, paying attention to some of your top influencers and how much they're putting out content, right? Because, especially from the top influencer standpoint, because this is where majority of people are looking at, like, I want that. Like, I want that output, right? And I want that results. So now you just kind of reverse engineer, okay, how many times are they posting? What platforms are they posting on? What is kind of like morning, noon, night? Is there a strategy behind it? And you're really studying and researching the people who are actually doing it, as well as the agencies that are doing it. Of course, you could do YouTube University. But it really goes to the hands-on of understanding other brands based off who your audience is, because some people may just want to do corporate situation. Okay, follow all the other corporate things. What are they doing? Some people want to focus on personal brands. Okay, cool. What are the top ones doing, and how can you kind of make your own package about it? Right? And in your head, you're calling it, okay, the JO package, the Gary Vee package, the this, that, package in your head. But now you're saying, boom, this is going to cover TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Reels, because that's where vertical videos are at. Those are going to be the appetizers, where then we have to cater them to the long form video. I'm going to suggest a podcast at certain points. How do we get that? Because and that's just all because I'm researching what the top people are doing.
I got it. Do you teach any of this stuff?
I do.
You got to throw your stuff in there. We're going to get the link in it. We're going to put it in the show notes. You know what I'm saying? But, because, I believe, I'm just letting y'all know right now, this is just my, personal, I'm just throwing it, what do you call that thing? Prediction.
Okay.
Nicky's going to be out of reach in the next 2 years. You understand? So you better reach it. You better reach it while you can, because the price is going up. You understand?
Absolutely.
How important is it to build a brand like right now?
It's beyond important. I really feel that, one, there's two things I say. One, without content, you don't have a brand, right? Yep. Two, if you don't have a brand, we don't know who you are, right? Locally, you could kill it. Yeah. Absolutely. And I'm not knocking anybody who loves their local vibes, made millions off their local vibes. Absolutely. That doesn't mean you don't deserve bigger.
Yeah.
Right? So building a brand is something that is not even for you, it's for others.
Yeah.
Right? Because you actually have a solution that no one else has. Whether from an entertainment standpoint, motivation, education standpoint, whatever your vibe is, you have something that no one else has. And by you putting yourself out there, having it look a certain kind of way, certain kind of consistency, right? You're helping other people, which then will be like, okay, I actually don't really know what you do, but you're always here. Yeah. And so here, have my money.
Yeah. Right?
We've seen multiple times where certain people are like, okay, I don't even know if I need this, but I rock with you here. Right? Or you have Cash App, all of a sudden, like, wait, where did that come from? Right? The brand is not for you, but the brand creates legacy for you.
Got it.
Because what you do now in whatever year you're watching this, because I'm not going to date this, right? Whatever year you're watching this, it is cool for right now, but it lasts so much longer. We know of videos of people who've passed because they created a brand, because they started doing content. And now we can go back to it because of a YouTube, because of other platforms that were like, they're lasting long because they created a brand.
Yeah. I went to the Grow It Video conference or whatever, and I think it might have been Patrick Bet-David. He said something that I actually never thought about, but I thought was powerful.
Guy. Yeah.
He said that, and if it wasn't him, then it was somebody.
I'm
pretty sure it was him.
Right.
He was saying that like creating content is so powerful because he's like, this is one of the first generations where, like, you imagine your kids going back and like, man, let me hear how my grandfather thought when he was 25.
Yes.
Let me hear how he thought when he was 35.
Right.
And like now it's like, you think about your parents, your grandparents, a lot of times what you have is like maybe some old videos that were at the house, maybe some pictures, but not really the mind of that person and the things they were doing and things they were creating. And I think we live in an interesting time, not just for the money, for the brand, but it's almost like a Rolodex where your family one day can come back and be like, man.
We live in an amazing time because we are learning from so many, not only from our family, but from so many mentors.
Yeah.
Like back in the day, we would have to pay to be in these particular rooms, right? We would have to pay to go to certain events to even hear somebody speak, right? To where now These people are on every single interview, podcast, whatever, giving out game, and we're now learning about it. What was crazy was, because I look at everything from the power of media, like, because if you have the power of media, you can control something so disgusting in human beings, right? Like you could direct them left or right when you have that power of media. I was watching, and this is no plug because clearly they don't sponsor, right? But the Netflix series with Harry and Meghan, right?
Yep.
So what was interesting, not necessarily from the drama standpoint, but the power of media that the tabloids have over there, right? The reason why there was so much drama is because the media created it and made the whole country believe something, right? So when you have the power of media and an audience, you can sway them to liking something, to not liking something, which even makes us think, like, do I like this because, like, I honestly like it, or because I've seen it so many times that I feel like I'm supposed to like it, right? And that's where when it comes to these brands, it's more of the more that I put it out, now I'm controlling, yo, do you like this or you don't? After a while, we tend to like it. The most dumbest things, cat videos. We used to see it all the time to the point where, okay, I double tapped on it. It's worst quality in the world. I don't even like cats, this, that, and the third. But, you know, that was cute, right? But why? Because we continuously see something over and over again. So if we are creating a brand that consistently putting out content, now we're controlling people's minds of, yo, this is the way the world is. Because we think, yo, everybody's doing it based off the 3,000 people that we're following.
Yeah. And you said something there, because there are people that, like, our feed is made up of who we follow.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, but we will translate our feed to
the world. Everybody's doing it.
Yeah,
Everybody.
And even if everybody's doing it, my thing is, like, everybody may not be consistent doing it.
Nope.
You know, because, like, everybody's got a podcast. Everybody's got, I mean, everybody's saying that, but it's not really everybody.
Right.
Not everybody's going to be consistent at any one thing.
No,
including just basic content like daily posting.
No, you know? It's harder than people, like, really, okay, I could create content. I could do a podcast. Yeah, do a podcast every week. It's once a week. I could do that. It's actually a lot harder than people think.
Yes, it is.
It's extremely, there's research to it. There's tech issues. There's a whole lot of things. I may not feel like it that day. Oh my God, why am I doing this? It's a lot harder, but the reason behind it is so much bigger. Like, when you understand, like, okay, I'm actually creating a show, right? I'm creating a show that is my platform that I could leverage, that I'm actually bringing on people, putting them on to certain things. Like, we used to, like I said, we used to want to be on platforms to say, hey, look at me. No, we're creating that for others. We're creating that for ourselves. I'm not waiting for nobody anymore. So, like, yeah, it's hard. Yeah, people don't want to do it, but it's honestly not for everybody either. Even though you should create a brand, the real ones who are consistent, it deserves that part.
Yeah. Do you think it's one of those things where maybe it's like, okay, you know, like somebody said, like, if you can't create a team, you should join a team, is one of the things where it's like, okay, you know, maybe if I'm not the person that should be in the front, like, let me just connect with something and let me be a part of it from that perspective.
Yeah, I truly believe in that, because you have to be exposed to what you want.
Yeah.
We don't know what we don't know, right? So a lot of it does come from, you know, the internet. I see what I see, and that's what I want. But when we're in a team, now we're seeing the inside works of how it really goes, right? And I think by me being on a team helped me understand how a true personal brand's supposed to grow. Yeah. Because I saw the inner works. I saw the event situation. I saw how many times a series goes on and for how long and when it's supposed to die. And, like, I'm seeing all these different things. If I was to do it on my own at first, the road would be longer. Yeah. Right? So joining a team makes the road shorter. Anything to make things short, because for me, I already was in the Navy for 9 years, right? I was already on a team for a certain amount of time. I ain't got no time to really be like, let's do it, and I don't care. I move in a very strategic way. Let me get all the information. If I have no problem, even still to this day, joining another team if I need to get on a certain kind of level, because I need the exposure of what really is the inside of work and how they see things, so I could apply it for my own. So I'm all for joining a team. Let me say this: a healthy team.
A healthy team. Yeah.
That's important.
Yeah, and I think when you join a team, it's like you got to know your purpose there. You know, what you're trying to get from that particular situation, because everybody uses people.
Yes.
You know, and I'm not saying using people in the negative way, but you know, like if you're working for a company, they're using you, but you're also using them for something.
It's a mutual situation.
And it's mutualism. Yeah. That's what I've been on lately. It's like everything should be mutualism. Yeah. Like if it's not mutualism, then it's like, unless it's just charity. Yeah. Then there should be some type of mutualism, even if it's not today. There should be something. And I think if you go into a situation and say, okay, you know, let me learn this. I can't even remember the name of that book. I think it may be The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. It was called Getting in the Corridor. Okay. It's like, so before you own a restaurant, go work in a restaurant and see if you even like it. You know, you might even get in there and find the suppliers, find things that you can use, and then say, okay, do I even want to do this? Right. Before you take out $100,000 loan and do all this, then you be like, dang, I don't even really like this at all.
Facts.
And I think some people can do what you're saying if they approach it with the right mentality. My philosophy, Nikki, has always been like, entrepreneurship should be like college. Yes. And if people treated it like college, more people would make more money. And what I say by that is, like you said, okay, I worked for, you know, E for 3 years and didn't make any money. And somebody's like, oh my God, but how many years do people go to college and don't make any money? You wouldn't even have a bachelor's degree.
That's a fact.
In college, and you'll be struggling trying to figure it out and still going to school and pass the test. And it's like you said, okay, I'm still going to go to school. Right. I'm still going to get an education. Yeah. But I'm going to go through this program a little bit differently than most people. And so instead of coming out with student loans, you paid along the way. So at the end, you had your education, you had your degree, you had your experience, and you were getting paid.
And you said something really dope, because it was more of, what if you don't even like it, right? So. Like, there's people who are like, yeah, I want a brand, I want to be out there, And then when you go inside the inside work of it, it's like, no, I don't want that smoke. I don't want to deal with that. Yeah. Like, and then they realize that it's okay to be a number 2. Yeah. It's okay to be a number 3, right? And especially if you are helping grow that brand, you probably make more money than you would have done on your own, right? Yeah. Because you're building something big. Like, I love, like, my 9-to-5 people. I love my behind the scenes people, number 2s, 3s, 8, 9s, 10s, because they're needed, right? I don't believe everybody should be a number 1. I believe that certain people were, like, anointed to be number 1 in order to carry the people, right? To make them feel, understand their worth of, we're doing this together. Yeah. The problem is that a lot of people are selfish. And so, though some people need to be number 1s or 2s, they're placed in the wrong teams to where they're not feeling valued in their own position, that they feel like, you know what, I need to be a number 1. Yeah. And it's like, no, boo, you don't need to be a number. You don't want that smoke, and the longevity wise, you can't stand that flame that's there, right? You can't. It's a little problem. So, and the hours and that whole 9. Like, stay right here, but that goes all into that whole leadership situation where, are you making sure that people feel wanted and make them feel as if their position is, like, needed and strong enough that they're not even thinking about, oh, I gotta leave. Now, granted, we're building everybody up if you have to. Cool. Like, we want that. Yep. But a lot of when it comes to creators, a lot of the creators are really extremely introverted. So if you get a creator that's like, I'm out, I'm doing this on my own, oh, you did something wrong. You did something wrong. Like, you ain't treat them right, and that's fine. But because I've made that mistake. I'm like, oh damn, I messed that one up. I messed that one up. That was me. That was me. But I believe that everybody should try to create their brand and see how it is to be out there. But if not, join a team and grow something that is going to have global impact.
Yeah, I love that. What are some trends that you're seeing for 2023 and beyond?
AI and still vertical videos.
Still vertical.
Still vertical.
Okay.
Yeah, vertical is not going anywhere. We have a short attention span, to the point, not in a bad way, but like I have to see if I like you. I have to date you a little bit. So I have to look at the little short videos real quick, and then I have to want to know more about you. So the vertical videos I see is more as like appetizers, right? And they're killing the game. If TikTok is still around, we're still going to deal with vertical videos. YouTube Shorts is now getting to a place where they're about to monetize it. So creators are going to go to their brands or want to go to stay on YouTube for the longevity of things, right? So vertical videos are not going anywhere. AI is now making a bit of a wave because it's now starting to become easier to create content. I could type something and an image comes up, right? I can drop a video and then there's certain things that are created for me. I could type something and my whole content schedule is created for me. The copy that would normally take me either 3 days to do, or I have to do a copywriter, is done within 5 minutes, right? And so where brands, business owners, and content creators need to truly like embrace AI, because it's not going to replace them, but it's definitely going to make content creation 100 times better. 100 times better, to where now both the business owner, the brand, and the content creator can come together, because now you're seeing, okay, this is what is created. Is this your tone? This is not your tone. Let's add it. Boom, 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 boom. And it could be something that is used more as a tool to create faster content.
Got it.
Than just like, okay, I gave you the video, the week passed by, here's your stuff. Nah, it's about to be a lot quicker.
Yeah, okay, I like that. This year, like a lot of people are like, okay, all right, I'm gonna get into making the content. I've seen more people trying.
Yeah.
What are there some apps? Anything you think? Okay, hey, y'all should probably start. I know you mentioned one.
Yeah,
you think a person should start tapping into themselves?
So, I always believe that you should have a media team right on your phone, right?
Okay.
So, meaning, if you need a video editor, you go get CapCut, InShot, and Video Leap. These are 3 really dope video editing apps right on your phone, iPad, Android. I'm sorry, I really don't know. I can't speak.
This is
I think,
how you know if anybody knows me, y'all know. This actually, please say this clip, because I need this for everybody to know me. I literally tell people, like, listen, I don't know of top content creators that just use Android. And I'm not knocking Android. No. I only know one guy that makes little videos with the cars, and he be doing all that.
Yeah.
He has an Android. Maybe he's got to deal with them. Get an iPhone.
Yeah, I don't know. There's something. I know CapCut is for Android, so we're good. CapCut is also for on a web-based situation too. So if you don't want to work on your phone, you can work on it, and it's free, right? So from video editing standpoint, CapCut, InShot, and Video Leap. From a photo editing standpoint, you want to do Visco, VSCO, right, and Lightroom, right? From a graphic design standpoint, Canva, right? From a copy and like captions wise, you want to do copy.ai, right? Copy.ai or ChatGPT. Google it. It's going to be very, very powerful in your life, I promise you, right? ChatGPT. From a social media manager standpoint, we have Later, we have Buffer, and we have Creator Studio from Meta and Business Suite from Meta. So Creator Studio and Business Suite are Facebook and Instagram friendly. Okay. So you can schedule out, plan everything that you want, check your analytics, see what you can monetize. It's a Meta platform, so it's free. Okay. Right? The other ones you do have to pay. But that literally is your whole media team until you can have a media team.
Got it. Yeah, I like that. The copy and the caption thing, that was a gem too. Y'all look. I hope some of y'all don't make it this far in the episode. You know what I'm saying?
I hope you already turned it off.
I hope you turned it off.
You turned it off.
This is good stuff. I'm gonna come back through and take some notes myself. This is really good. You think like long term you would ever want to create your own social media platform?
No, but my own community platform, probably.
Yeah.
So I'm big on community, right? I believe that social media is the tool where you build in to build out.
Yep.
So I'm building my following, everything like that, getting them to like me, but then I'm taking them off social media because I can't own that.
Right.
I will never own Facebook, Instagram. I don't even care if they put a charge on it. I can't own it, right? But then I bring them into a community to where they can connect with me more. They can have the understanding, because information, I believe information is free, but the understanding you have to pay for, right?
Yeah.
The implementation you have to pay for, right? The environment of other people doing it with you, you have to pay for, right? So the community side of it, I do believe that I'll probably tap more into as far as creating that environment for people.
I think that'd be great.
But from a social media thing, they could have that, because I do see other people creating social media networks, and I'm not big on battling the big dogs for no reason. Like let them rock. I'm more of what a lot of people say, the people's champ. So I'd rather be more about the people and creating something for them rather than just another tool.
Yeah, that's a great way to look at it, because people ask me that sometimes in my business too. Like, you think you ever want to start your own company? Like, that's a lot of work.
Right.
I just want to, because I do want to enjoy life. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
All the other stuff that comes with that's actually kind of what we were talking about just now. It's like sometimes you find out like, no, I don't want to do all of that.
Yeah,
just stay where I'm at. Building a brand.
Yeah.
How long did it take, you think?
If you really like put your like heart and soul in it, it really can take 6 months.
Okay.
It really could take, like, movement and traction. It could really take about 6 months, right? Now, for you to see where you probably deserve to be, that's going to take years.
Okay.
Right? That's realistic, right? But to see some traction, to be like, you know what, this could work. I can actually do this. I see people reacting to it. I see people like at least clicking on and being curious about what I have. That could be 6 months.
Okay.
Especially with how social media is right now. Absolutely.
So if you were Nikki today, knowing what you know now, right, but you don't have a social media presence, where would you start? What platforms do you say, okay, I'm starting here, building my brand?
Right now, TikTok and YouTube.
Okay.
I would. If I had to do it over, right? Because Instagram is forever my main boo, because that's just where I started, right? But if I was starting from scratch, probably TikTok and YouTube, just because I understand the audiences there. The brand awareness is a bit quicker from a TikTok standpoint that can then bring traffic to your YouTube.
Yeah.
I understand that with YouTube, that the videos last forever compared to a TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, where you put it out there and it could last a couple of days depending on how good it is, but then it dies out, right? And so I could be, if you're a plumber and you did a video about fixing the dishwasher or whatever, somebody's gonna look that up years later. Yo, how do you fix a dishwasher, right? The particular model, boom, boom, boom. So I would concentrate on that, especially from a creator economy standpoint. Yeah. Because I'm on that vibe of, if I have to create the content, I might as well get some coins from it anyways. Yeah. Right? And so being on the platforms that allows creators to get paid from that, YouTube is still number one on that. Okay. Right? From a brand deal situation, TikTok, brands are going more towards TikTok than an Instagram, than a Facebook, than anything like. So TikTok and YouTube is where the brand deals are at. Exposure is where TikTok's at, right? So even though, I will say, even though there is talks that they're trying to ban TikTok in the US, until that happens, it's still killing it. But those are the two platforms.
Yeah, I think that's smart. Those are my thoughts as well. I really love Instagram.
Yeah.
Unless I'm almost feeling like maybe Instagram is like the Facebook of our generation. Cause,
Yes.
You know, like,
Yes.
it's just people like,
It
I'm just not
absolutely is.
leaving. I'm not leaving Facebook. I'm here.
But if we have the honest conversation, because we have our following, we don't necessarily see it, but the growth of it has slowed all the way down.
Yeah.
So if I was starting from zero, I would be all the way frustrated. And from my followers who try to learn how to grow on Instagram, they express, it's not working. It's like the reach is trash. I got to do all these different. I'm not pointing. I'm not dancing. I'm not doing all of that.
Yeah.
Like I don't want. And I can understand the frustration because Instagram isn't as it was before, right? It is doing that little transition that Facebook did because Facebook was cool organically, and then they became a paid to play situation.
Yeah.
I feel like Instagram is getting to that point as well, to where now we're leaning more towards TikTok. LinkedIn is a sleeper, right? So they still have amazing organic traffic going there, right?
I think that what you just said is also why it's important for people to start now.
Oh yeah.
Because people be like, oh, okay, I'm gonna eventually do it. But you've been looking at it for 5 years. Now you get in the game, and it's totally different than what it was 5 years ago.
And it really, it's truly just understanding, like, okay, how can I stay consistent with it? But then how do I improve? We get caught up in the how do I improve already?
Yeah.
And I didn't even start, but how do I make this immaculate? Like I see when it comes to YouTube, like I see a Mr. Beast and how he goes and creates all these crazy videos. Like, how do I do that? You don't do that. It's not you're not Mr. Beast. Like you're not some of these different influencers. I went over this on my live. I follow this creator, Keith Lee, right? Keith_Lee 125, right? He don't know me, I don't know him, but he's a foodie, right? So he lives in Las Vegas, and he'll go to local restaurants and say, hey, I bought this. It costs $86. Let's rank it 1 to 10, right? But as he's saying it, the camera goes in, zooms out, in, zooms out, all with his phone. He has 6.2, from the last time I saw it, 6.2 million followers.
Is it a black guy?
Black guy.
Is that the one that he went to a restaurant and
Yes.
They were like, he's like, I'm gonna just rate it, and then now they're like packed or something like
Yes.
that. Yeah.
So his videos don't get less than 1 million.
Wow.
It doesn't get less than 1 million views. And every store, every restaurant that he goes to, it gets packed.
Yeah.
People are trying it because it's like, yo, Keith said it, right? Which goes into the power of influence. But I'm saying that because he just grabbed his phone. He found a platform, TikTok. He does put it on Instagram, but it doesn't do the same numbers that it does on TikTok. Now he started January 2022. He was like, he made a video. I have only $2,000 in my bank account. I'm just going to believe in God. This is going to work. And he just continued to go with that same type of, I have my camera, I'm buying the food, I'm zooming in and out every single time. And his platform grew tremendously because he was like, I'm going to do TikTok, I'm going to do it on my phone, I'm going to do it on a consistent basis. And I'm doing it pretty much actually to serve because I want people to understand if this is good or not.
Yeah.
So he's relatable, he's authentic, he uses, he's reachable, and these are the different types of blueprints that we have to look at and be like, that works. We can't be like, oh, the content sucks. He has 6-point-some million followers. The content doesn't suck to somebody.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. All right. How do you? Because you work with. I'm not gonna name your whole Rolodex, but you got
Right.
E, you got yourself, you got your own podcast. You got. I know you do some stuff with Inky. How does the mind work? Where it's like, okay, you have all this content that you and strategies for different people. Like, how's the approach different? How do you come up with a different approach for the brands?
I take myself out of it, right? 2, I just engulf in what they need, right? So it doesn't matter who it is. It could be Joe, it could be E, it could be anybody. What is the goal, right? And if I understand the goal, then I can just kind of go through all the research that I've done within that particular niche, right? what E does is going to be different than an Earn Your Leisure, and then it's going to be done different than an Inky. That's going to be done than an Anthony. It's like all these people, they're different. Mm-hmm. If I want them to stand out, I have to then go and create a strategy that makes them stand out. So I'm researching the field, but I'm having conversations with them of who they are. Mm-hmm. I'm having conversation of how's their family. Mm-hmm. I'm having conversations of what is their work ethic. I'm having conversations like it's the personal vibe of who are you, so we can put that in there to create like, and me and you have this guy, yo, you're low key funny.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
That needs to be. Thank you. I appreciate that. I really appreciate that you actually said that out loud. No one ever tells me this. But carry on, please. Keep telling me how. Keep going. Keep going. What to say a little more. Actually demonstrated. But
You funny too though.
But what I'm saying is like, okay, this has been working for so long, mm-hmm. right? But if we add a mix of you, this is what's going to stand out. Mm-hmm. So the strategies are not necessarily too hard when you think about what is the foundation of the industry. Mm-hmm. Because if we're trying to grow within the industry, we still have to have those foundational tools from mm-hmm. From a products, from a service, from a content, from a branding standpoint. Mm-hmm. We still need that foundation, but then we have to give our own twist to it in different ways, whether it is from an event ways, from a content standpoint, from a speaking standpoint. What is our personality? Because that's what makes us different. That, and we add that into the strategy, it's game over. So it's always about the conversations. It's always about what are we talking about? What are you doing this month? Mm-hmm. Vacations? Okay. So how does that connect with the brand? Like in some way, shape, or form, mm-hmm. if you want it to, because, there's boundaries too. And that's some of the conversations you got to have. Because some people don't mind having that reality TV mm-hmm. kind of vibe. But some people, it's like, even for me, I'm a private public person.
Yep.
So
same.
People see me, they feel connected to me. Oh, I know Nikki, I love her, this, that, mm-hmm. and but you don't know really anything too much of my private life unless I speak about it. Yep. Right? That's my personal preference. But I do work with people that are like, I went outside and I fell on my face and I got a scratch and now I have to look for makeup and praise God. Good for you. I don't care, but somebody does, right? Yep. And they're fine with that because somebody's going to feel my pain. Okay, great. Mm-hmm. I'm not, but somebody mm-hmm. is. So understanding the different personalities, understanding what they see as a goal, and then just taking the foundations and putting it together.
I like that. That's, what I've always struggled with is like the couple things when people talk about like, all right, what is your niche?
Yeah.
Like what is your target audience?
Yeah.
Like,
the typical stuff.
Literally, my mind always shuts down. It's like, all right, if you could break your brand down into 3 words, what would it be? I'd be like, I don't even know. Like I know how to speak the stuff I want to speak, but like, is that stuff important?
So it's only important to build trust.
Okay.
Right? So I say this because I'm one of those people that don't like being boxed in. Mm-hmm. But I understand that you can't trust me if I'm talking about 7 different things. Right? So I have to pull you in with one, right? So now everybody knows me for content, right? Mm-hmm. It's either content or social media. It's one of the two.
Yep.
So you know me for that. Once you're in my ecosystem, then I can tell you about podcasting. Yep. Then I can tell you about all the other things that I'm talking about. I can do all that because, one, I'm gifted in all those other things, but I have the most results and the most trust in this particular thing. So let me aim on that. I love doing it anyways. So let's talk about it. And then when you get in here, hey, boom, I did a whole workshop about AI. That's what I'm getting more into now, right? So, but I can't now just straight up just talk AI because they're like, Nikki, go back to give me the cap cut and everything like that. Like that's cool what you're talking about, and I respect you. But what is Instagram doing? Yeah. Like what is YouTube doing? Like so, it's when it comes to the whole niche thing, it is more of what do you do that can build trust that you can do on a regular basis that doesn't necessarily bug you, but that you know that when they come into your world, then you could be, because those are the people who really care about all the other stuff that you have going on. We're forcing everybody to care about our gifts, right? God gives us multiple gifts. So we're like, hey, look, I do trading. I collect sneakers. I go on boats and I fish. Look at all this. And they're like, who are you? I don't even know what you do. Yeah. Like, what do you do? There are some amazing people, and you probably know a few that are like, yo, they're great. I don't know what they do though. Yeah. But they're great, like personality wise. I know their work ethic is crazy because they're always doing something, but I don't really know what they do. That bugs me. Yeah. Because that used to be me, where it was like, yo, I know like who you're associated with, and I know you're great at all. I really don't know what you do. But I have to like work with you because I know you're dope. That bugged me. So I was like, okay, let's hone in on this, and then let me get you into everything else, right? Yeah. So that's where the niche part is. The audience, I do believe that we are meant to speak to a specific audience. Yeah. And that the audience that we're meant to specifically speak to is going to get us out to the masses. Got it. Right? That's what I truly believe.
And so how does a person find out what that is?
It goes more to what is the problem that you solve? Got it. Okay. Right? What is the problem? And people normally start with themselves. Who was the old me? Because clearly I have a solution of who the old me was. Right? So now I'm breaking that down of like age, race, environment, pay, like all that. I'm breaking all the way down. I'm figuring out, what kept me up at night. I'm figuring out some of the things that I'm searching for. I'm figuring out what other stuff that who else do I follow. Like I'm looking at myself for some majority of the time, because some of us talk to our old selves. Other times it's more of how do I break this solution that I have into an internal and external thing. I always use Apple as a great example, because we would go to the store and say, for example, I need a new laptop. It broke. I have a test tomorrow, or something to submit. I need to do that, right? And so from an external situation, it's just that I need a laptop to finish my stuff. Internally, this brand makes me feel creative, and that I'm of the elite students, and by me being the elite student, that already puts me up to my family, because none of my family members have ever graduated. Yeah. So not only do I have the tools and the resources to be elite, now my family's looking up to me. Yeah. It comes more of an internal situation. And so Apple's done that very well, of like, how do we make people feel luxury, creative, elite, right? Because internally, this is what they want for their environment. Yeah. So. Yeah,
I like that. And having Apple does make you feel luxurious.
Like you kind of up there.
Feel good to just pop over your laptop.
Yeah, no, the Microsoft ain't hitting it the way they used to.
No, they're not at all. And and that's why it always reminds me to still stay on my game, because there's so many companies that we can name. Yeah. That at the time it was like BlackBerry at the time was like there was nobody that could touch them.
Absolutely.
Failed to evolve. Microsoft in some ways, I mean, if corporations didn't need Word, Excel, PowerPoint, I don't even know, because...
And it depends on the industry. Yeah. Like Apple dominates, let's say, the music industry, right? But PC is still good for like gaming and stuff like that. It depends on the industry, and even in that standpoint, it goes back to, I know my audience. I'm just going to target that and give them all the tools and the resources for that. I may not be as head of the game as I was before, but I'm still making a lot of money over here. Yeah. So it's still understanding that audience play, because Microsoft is still here, even though the majority of us are Apple. Apple has all my money. It's really actually disgusting.
And it makes you feel good about taking it, So
that's really excited, and you're like screaming to like, yo, the new iPhone, I already got it. Like, but why are you screaming this out?
That's what I was about to ask you. do you keep like creating content? Do you say, okay, I got to have the new phone so I can have the best camera, the best?
That's
like,
because I'm spoiled. I'm spoiled. Two, you come up with reasons like, yeah, if I get the new phone, I understand the new features, I know how to teach on it, this, that, and the third, right? So like I go live a lot, and so when I think it started with the iPhone 13 where you're able to do the portrait mode on live, right? So they were like, yo, what camera are you using? iPhone 13 Pro Max. Would you? And so you have a little kind of that's all it is. I don't know what's the problem. Upgrade your phone. Like that's all you have to do. And so, for that reason, I swear that like, oh, the new features are always going to make me look up to par. But honestly, like, it's really just about your lens of things, right? Because now this is why old school photos are coming back. Yeah. Like that whole vintage look is coming back because it's not necessarily about the latest look and the quality. It's about how are you depicting the story. So that it's not necessarily about the latest and greatest phones, even though they do help.
Yeah, they do help.
They do help. But it at a point it was supposed to be you pay for the phone, it's actually cheaper than the camera, and they're now starting not to be cheaper than the camera, so it actually defeats the purpose. Yeah,
I think my problem I'm running into now is storage. I had to get the new one to get the terabyte in storage because my phone was tripping. So I was like, okay, y'all got me one more time.
Storage will hurt your feelings. Yeah. Storage will hurt your feelings.
So, I like it. What are you working on now? We got coming up this year.
So, like I said, I'm big on community. So we are growing deeper than the brand, right?
Okay. Yeah. I think I saw some ads for it during the holidays.
Yeah. Shout out to my marketing team. They killing it. Yeah. But it's super concentrated on content branding and helping people really grow their content and their social media. Like I always say, the regular smegular people to look like the ETs and the Inkies and the Earn Your Leisures and things like that because they all started with their phone. They all started with an idea and things like that. But certain people just don't have the tools and the resources. So now it's about here's the information, but here's the understanding and here's how you execute on it.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, if I'm a content creator, I should buy it. But maybe if I'm the owner of the company, maybe I should buy it for my team.
Absolutely. We have this program, Impact and Monetization, where we had several owners that is like, I'm not going to do none of this. I'm going to promise you, I'm not going to do none of this. But it allows me to communicate to my team better. It allows me to understand, okay, these are the trends. Let's try this. And not necessarily to micromanage, but to understand, because what we tend to do is like, oh, I'm not good at this. Here you go. Yeah. Right? I'm not creative. I don't like social media. Here you go. But then we tend to disconnect from our brand. Right. And we actually give the heart of it up to other people who may not necessarily care so much. So it's about more, one, if you are in the starting phase, to at least get in that consistency role. Like we did a challenge. We called it Best of 2022. So all of December, no one created nothing new. We only repurposed our content, and people were getting thousands of followers just from their old content because they were consistent every single day, which build their confidence.
I saw you doing that, so I started doing a couple. I was like, oh, let me just try this. Go, you know what I'm saying? And it worked.
I mean, TV shows do reruns. Yeah. You feel me? So if our content has that same vibe, we have to remember that people do not watch everything that we put out as much as we think they don't, right? Our numbers would show. But two, the algorithm may just not have liked it. And so replaying it over and over again allows the platform to say, oh, you're consistent. Your audience to be like, I never saw this, or that was a goodie. Let me share that one again. So, we do things like that in the community to where, one, if you're just starting, let's build up your confidence to understand what kind of content to create. Two, if you're kind of in the middle, okay, let's now, we have live workshops now to where, okay, here's how to do it. Now let's do the challenge. Now let's execute on it. You have something tangible for your brand. And then, three, we have like the coaching program where it's more of a, hey, let's go through 90 days of where you create the content, where you create a community, and then you make a bag from the content that you have.
That was a lot of sauce right there. Hope y'all catching this. I'm just curious with this for
Go.
you. Do you ever make a post and then take it down?
No.
No.
I don't. I used to.
Okay.
I used to. That's that whole like, I spelled something wrong. I actually did a post about it where I just start overthinking. I'm like, did I spell it right? No, I didn't spell it right. I think I see something. Oh, I'm breaking out. Oh, I'm not doing this. Like, I'd start just overthinking and I just take it down. Or I expect it to hit a certain kind of number, which I don't know where these expectations come from. Like, they're half the time, right? And then I take it down when really I've gotten to the point where no matter how, like, the reach is, how many, like, if I put those people in my house, it would be overwhelming.
Yeah.
So I am grateful for everybody who looks at it, who comments on it, no matter if it's 2 people, no matter if it's 100 people, 1,000 people, it doesn't matter. I know if they were in my house, I would be super overwhelmed.
Yeah.
So now there's no true expectations about numbers from a following standpoint, from a view and engagement standpoint. It is more of a, I'm grateful and let me cater to them. So once I started changing that, then I stopped taking things down.
Yeah. What do you think, like, your definition of viral in 2023? And when you're looking at content, what are you paying most attention to? Is it comments? Is it likes? Is it shares? Is it saves? Is it?
So for viral, I go more on what is the biggest numbers within your brand.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? I don't care if it's I got 2,000 views and you normally get 20.
Yeah, that's
You
good.
feel me? Like, it is, what is the biggest number and how do we duplicate it if possible? Because that's the numbers that you have to look. Not these people got 1 million people. That's great, right? And for those people who seek out that, how do I get viral? How do I get viral? Are you ready to be viral? Like, is your back end good? Like that, but that's a whole nother topic, right? And as far as what do I look for, once again, I'm the people person. So it is, I'm going for comments, I'm going for shares, and I'm going for saves from an Instagram standpoint, right? Because that shows that people are truly reacting to it.
Yeah.
You could buy views, you could buy likes. I'm not interested in that particular. It could hit a certain kind of spike and it got all these types of views. I care about, are people sharing it? Is it shareable content? Are people talking to me and having conversations?
Yeah.
And are they saving in what I call like their content toolbox, right? For later, because it's added so much value that they needed to revisit.
Yeah. I like that. That's good, because I've noticed sometimes the ones I get the most engagement on, sometimes the other things aren't higher, and then sometimes it's like, okay, views, shares are high, comments sometimes. I was always wondering that, like, all right, what's the most important? But I think the bar for me was going viral inside of your own content is important, because that's also a win too. Like, you can always get a win every month, maybe every quarter. Like, okay, all right, we did something right. And like you said, how do I do that over and over?
Because we got to understand our average numbers. Like, people don't know their numbers. Do you know your average views? Do you know your average likes? Do you know your average comments? Do you know your average shares, saves? And depending on what platform you're on, do you know your average numbers? Because how do you know it's not working? Right? Because sometimes we'll see it go low. We had a spike, right? Depending on it. So now we expect, okay, we're supposed to hit this number all the time. That's not your average, right? What is your average? If you go lower than that for a certain amount of time, then it's time to change something.
Got it.
If we're going higher, it's working. If there's a huge spike, okay, that's viral. So let's dissect how we got there. Is it only one time that happened? Is it a few times that happened? What are our viral numbers? Right?
How do I find these numbers? I literally go through and just
go analytics.
Yeah.
So each platform has analytics, but each post does have individual insights in itself, right? So if you want to just gauge, okay, I posted this today. I posted at 9 o'clock in the morning. It's 7 p.m. Let me go to that individual one and let me see how it is. But if I'm trying to get like a week or a month or 90 days worth of analytics, I'm going through like insights and stuff like that to check, okay, because the funny thing is that we post and we forget.
Yeah.
And so if we were to actually look back at our content, you would see there was some that actually started working a month later.
Yeah, I've had that. Comments start. I'm like,
Right.
This? Yeah.
Like, well, how did this get back active? What are we talking about? So it is, and that happened to me where I was like, there was one post that was like, I don't know, it hit like 20 views, 20K views. And I was like, okay, cool. Now I look back at it a few months later, it was like a mill. I was like, how? What's happening, right? It happens all the time, but if we're not checking our analytics, if we're not going in our insights and seeing that, we don't know what viral is. We don't know what we need to improve. We don't know if we already have the system, because 9 out of 10 times our content strategy is right within our analytics. We just have to look at, these are what my audience wants. This is what creates all the shares. So this is going to bring me brand awareness. If I do a certain filter, this is what people are clicking on. So this is probably bringing my conversions. So all the 3 buckets that we normally need is brand awareness, audience nurturing, and conversions. That's all in our analytics if we just looked at it.
I like it. I'm really like, I'm about to watch this for myself. I'm just gonna let you know that. Because there's some of the stuff I ain't remember all of it, so I'm gonna watch it again.
Right.
I always have a segment called, breakdowns to breakthroughs.
Okay.
And I always believe, like there's a breakdown, but if you get on the other side of it, it can be a breakthrough.
Yes.
Have you had any of those in your career? And if so, how did you get through it?
Yeah, I had a major breakdown. I had a divorce, right? Yeah, I had a divorce. And
Me too.
And it threw me all the way off. But what I realized is that I'll say it's a unique gift, because not everybody could do that, where they separate their personal and work, right? And I really found the love of creation through that whole situation, right? And I didn't understand, like before it was cute, we do it, boom, boom, right? But when that was going on and I was going on live, showing up, I was still creating content, putting more emphasis, a little bit more on myself, then I was like, oh no, this is your thing. Before, like I said, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know what I wanted to be, nothing like that. It took that moment, that time where I was like, it's bigger than me. It's absolutely bigger than me. Me showing up on social media and teaching other people and breaking certain things down and everything like that actually brings me joy in a very difficult time frame. So let me just stick to it. Yeah. Let's do this for another year. Let's do this for and it just became that. So because with the divorce, it's like the loss of somebody. Yeah. Like the loss of somebody became a huge gain of a whole different world for me. So that was big for me.
Yeah, that's good. I appreciate you sharing it too, because not everybody does.
I'm an open book when asked. I promise you.
Yeah,
but
sure.
Only when asked. Only when asked. You ask it, we here.
And it's tough, and a lot of people deal with it. Sometimes it's public for some people. Sometimes it's private, and sometimes people just don't know how to cope with that.
Yeah.
But I love to hear that there is another side. I know it was for me. It didn't necessarily affect me as much, like professionally. Yeah. Because I was like, all right, well, we'll just keep it moving.
We'll keep it doing, yeah.
There were moments of like, okay, man, this is a lot. And not for me, it was expensive, so it was just like, say, Lord, okay. Paperwork is very important. This next round. Because, the thing is, I actually still believe in relationships.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
Definitely get,
absolutely.
Married again. That's just, like, the single life was cool. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, I'm over it.
But I'm like, I'm going to get back. Because one allowed me to focus a little better.
Yep.
And then I was like, there was a lot of experience that were like scattered experiences. It was like, okay, you remember? That wasn't you. Okay, so I can't share that story because it was like you have these little moments of, okay, I was over here, and it's like, oh, you remember this movie? Oh no, and it's like instead of like, let me just have a person that we can like just share some.
We
stuff
could do just experience life with,
right.
and the funny thing, I went through that same situation to where now it's like. Oh, and I think once again, social media skews a lot of things too, because you look at it where there's people who've been married for 20-some years getting divorces, this, that, and the third, and you look at that and it's like, why? But I truly believe, like, why? I don't want to do that. Yeah. Like, that's absolutely horrible. I actually send it to E all the time. Look, this one, 26 years. Look. 14 years, like we don't even hear nothing about 2 years, 5 years, 6 years. We hear 27.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? I'm not doing it. No, don't want to do it. For the longest, I was like, nope, not doing it again.
Yep.
I'm going to find a person that I can just high five and spend life together. Yep. But that's it. Until the recent one, and now I'm just like, I love again, and it makes everything. It's about finding that person that also is like, once again, I'm creative. Us together is because she's creative, and so now it's more of, you actually find a person that actually takes you to new levels.
Yeah, that's important.
That's a whole other situation. That's if you can find that, you're good.
Yeah. And sometimes you don't know, until you got a chance. Like for me, I was married when I was 22. So it was like I actually didn't really date that many people. It was just like, hey,
hello, I like you.
And,
keep you.
And I would say, what I've learned too is like she is an amazing person. Yeah. Right. And great mother. It's just like we just together. It just wasn't. It wasn't a good mix. So I think it's important to, like business. Like I feel like sometimes people don't apply what they apply to business to relationships. They're like, oh, I don't want to ever do business. Nah, because a lot of people have failed, and a lot of times in business, you just say, okay, I'm just going to keep going until I get the
promise
right
you that is like one of my main like lessons as far as like, okay, if for everybody who struggles with social media, it's a relationship. Yeah. Like, okay, well, I'm not consistent. Okay, you have a consistency problem with people then. They're like, no, I don't. I'm there. Listen, if we're friends, like if we're starting to become a relationship, I call you, hey, boom, 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 we're talking. I call you the next day, boom, 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 boom. Yeah. I don't call you the following day. You're like, okay. Yeah. I call you next week. You're like, oh, hey, right? I get used to you only showing up once in a while, and then I fulfill my desire of talking to people other places. Yeah. And I say that from a social media standpoint of now other brands are getting the attention of your audience because you just don't want to talk to them, right? So you look at it from a relationship standpoint, we're talking about that. Okay, now he or she is looking at other people. Your audience is doing the same thing. You're dope. Yeah. But because you don't show up all the time, I'm looking at so-and-so who's trash. Yeah. But they're there for me. I take it to that extreme of like, oh snap, they cheated. My audience is cheating on me.
Fact,
wait, hold on. I'm here. Hey, I'm here. Yeah. And then I leave again, but I'm here again. Yeah. And like, yo, you're not. I like you. You're a great person. But I'm gonna go over here to the person who always shows me attention and love, and they may not be the greatest. Yeah. But they're here.
Yeah, they're showing up.
I take it in that kind of seriousness because even with platforms, I always say that too. I was like, Instagram is my main boo. I create for Instagram. Now, there's some side pieces that I got. You know what I mean? It's some side pieces, and it does treat me very well at certain times. When Instagram does not like me, all of a sudden I'm going viral over here, and it feels good. Yeah. But I realized that's not consistent. I'm going back to Instagram. I always do, and I use it, and I normally make people laugh about it, but it's the same kind of thing. When you're not on the platform knows. And so they're not going to promote you because you're not present. Yeah. It's the same thing. We have to stop treating real life and social media like it's different. Yeah, same. Because it's not. And especially if you're you in both ways, like it's completely the same thing. There's people who are creating brand new lives on social media. Yeah. Oh, I don't know why. Like, is that what you wanted to be in like real life? And so you're actually a lame? Okay, cool. Whatever. Yeah. I get it. Yeah. That's fine. But it's harder to act fake, and it's more expensive from a time standpoint and a money standpoint to be fake
and on social media. Yeah.
So yeah, treat it like real life. I treat everything like a relationship.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming in. I know it was like, we had to coordinate this a few times, but I learned a lot today. Hopefully y'all did too, because this is one of the ones I think you just need to save and just keep going through, but apply it as soon as possible, because most people won't. And that's what I love about information. You know how we do on the show. We always got to give people something for showing up. So I hope you like it. We'll see. All right, so I don't know if you're gonna like this.
What we got?
Or if it'll work.
It's blue, so I already like it.
Yeah, well.
Wait, hold on. Wait.
So I'm hoping you ain't got them already, because I know you got.
Hold on.
We got pretty much everything that's out there.
Ooh, no, I don't have these.
Okay, I
don't have these.
I said I hope she ain't got those yet. All right. You know, so I asked what might be a nice look for you, and
that's fire. That's fire.
So you got something. You know what I'm saying?
I like that. Thank
coming
you.
out. I appreciate you. I really do because you don't have to. And then it was a book.
There's more.
It's a book. It's a book I've been kind of sharing with people this year. It's just on trust. Speed of Trust, Stephen Covey. Because everything is built on trust. You people.
He better have an Amazon link. Y'all better buy.
I need to put that in there too, right?
Affiliate all day.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Facts. But not for I really, because it means a lot. Not everybody does it. And you took time away from your life, your family to come here.
I literally got off the plane and came here.
Yeah, you did, and I appreciate it. So I just want to say thank you from me to you for coming through.
Appreciate it.
Guys, listen, I told y'all we're gonna give you the top plays from the top people in the world, and Nicky just gave you some plays. All you gotta do is go run it. We'll see you on the next episode. What's going on? Listen, make sure you guys go to RunThePlayStore.com. Get your official Run the Play gear. We talk about shirts, socks, jackets for everybody that's Run the Play all across the world.
Are you ready? We're gonna run the play. Let's go. Do you know what it's like to come from nothing at all, but every day you just wanting it all? Do you know what it's like?